Hey Cheryln, it's Heather. I thought I'd take a minute to respond to your discussion board. I enjoyed reading it. I always like responding to yours. I think that you have a good way of just kind of explaining, kind of just the prompts for every week. And this week just adds on, to last week. I'm excited when we finish up next week, kind of just to wrap it all together. But, like with the, we're looking at the difference between the ANOVA and the ANCOVA, you're looking really just at adding one more thing, right? So how you start out analysis of variance, they're similar in the way that they are used to analyze two or more groups and the differences within and between the variables. So you're still looking at, a specific independent variable, a specific dependent variable. But what I really like about the ANCOVA is that you're bringing in another variable, and it doesn't necessarily have to be an independent variable or a dependent. It's that covariate. It's that third variable that you want to look at, kind of like your example when you're looking at IQ scores and RAT scores. You can adjust for mother's level of education, parents' marital status. There are so many things that you can adjust for because you're curious about how one variable affects the other, but then you want to bring in another factor. I really like, there's almost two parts to doing the ANCOVA. The first part that we had to do the homogeneity of regression slopes and variance to look if that's significant or not, to even see if you move forward. You're looking already, just like the ANOVA, at that main effect, that interaction effect, between the two IVs and the covariate. And so you're going to look at that, see if that's significance, and then move forward. I really like that you not only get to look at the, effects of the covariate, the effects of the independent variables, but then also just, that interaction together. I think it's very important to put, that whole picture, together. It just takes these steps, takes these statistical tests one step further, all the way from first week of class with mean, median, and mode, and then adding in, t-tests and everything. And now, almost being finished, being at ANOVA, ANCOVA, and then next week, I think it's MANOVA that we finished with. And so I'm glad how Merler and Vanetta just keep adding one step each. It makes it very understandable. And I like how you just talked about that third variable. As far as assumptions testing, I'm glad they use at least some of the same assumptions, just of, like you said, random sampling, normal distribution, and homogeneity of variance. And then one thing that makes it unique is that linear relationship between the DV and the covariate, and that ultimately that covariate is reliable as well. I like that you point out, you have to be careful to look at all these assumptions, otherwise you might be making an error. It just goes back to double checking everything, just that one of our other classmates last week kind of put where they called it proofreading. And it's true, just one step at a time before we do all these tests. I hope you're having a good day. I hope that you have a good weekend, and I'll see you in class. Thanks.